It seems what everybody's talking about this week is anti-natalism. And anti-natalism, as best I can tell, is the idea that we shouldn't have children anymore. And we shouldn't continue with the human species because any child that we bring into the world will inevitably feel suffering. As a matter of fact, it's actually quite likely that it will feel suffering, perhaps even quite a bit of it. Now, I don't consider myself an anti-natalist myself, but I think they do have something of a point, and they do bring up something that we don't often think about when we think about having children. Lots of people who have children, they don't really think of whether they should. Most of the people who have children either do it by accident or they do it because, they think that's what they're supposed to do. They finish school, they get married, they're supposed to have children. It's part of the natural order of things. But those people who do sit down and think, should we have children, usually they don't consider the fact that they are going to be bringing a being in the world that will experience suffering, and quite possibly will experience quite a bit of suffering. And I don't consider myself an anti-natalist, but I think they do have a point, because let's say someday we create a computer or another machine that is capable of not only consciousness but also emotion. More specifically, let's say that we find a way to create a machine and that is capable of experiencing both pleasure and suffering. Now, even if we ensure that the vast majority of the experience of this machine will be pleasure, the very idea that we would create something capable of suffering artificially will inevitably meet with protest. And this is something that we consider when we consider, creating an artificial being that is capable of suffering. But it's not something we consider if we think about creating children. Even though children are not only capable of suffering, it's quite likely that they will suffer at least at some point in their life, and may even suffer quite a bit during the course of their lives. So why is it that it's not okay to create an artificial intelligence that's suffering? Why would that meet with protest? But we don't think about creating a child that will inevitably experience suffering.